Look where we're at.
Yes! Yes!
This is Stan Lee.
I'm Michael Rooker.
I'm Norman Reedus.
Hi, folks. I'm Bruce Campbell.
Hey, guys, this is Brett Dalton.
We're all here to see me, of course.
Over 200 episodes. Please welcome to the stage the cast of the X-Files, William B. Davis, Miss Pileggi, Jillian Anderson, and David Duchovny! Well, that was worth the panel right there. All right. Well, welcome, guys. Because we're in Chicago, we have to ask, if aliens abducted you, and you were often stuck on another planet, and you had one pizza to choose from, what pizza would you choose? Your favorite pizza? William, do you have a favorite pizza?
That's too difficult a question. I can't do that.
All right. David, how about you? Do you have a favorite?
Chicago.
I think that's the answer right there.
That guy right there. Well, thank you so much for joining us in Chicago, and obviously a room full of fans, many that couldn't even get into the room. So much love. You know, there's very few properties that has the enduring nature like X-Files. I mean, X-Files fans were nerds before it was cool to be nerds, right? So, can you maybe give insight on why you think X-Files has endured so much? Like, why there's just so much love around it? David?
Yeah, that'd be good, Chicago. I think it's a complicated question. I'm not sure, but I think we were just talking about it, maybe Jillian and I were just talking, and I think when the show first aired, it was very different from anything that was on television at the time, or even movie franchises at the time. So I think that people got on board early, a long time ago, and I think they have a sense of loyalty to it, and I think they appreciate it for the groundbreaking show that it was, I think. I don't know. The questions that you ask us often is like, we are the last people in the world to be answering those questions. It's like for the fans answer why they're into it. I can't speak for the fans. I mean, they're here and they're vocal. They can tell us why, but I got no clue.
Well, in a few minutes, we'll definitely get a chance for our fans to share why they love X-Files so much. Did any of you, when you first got involved with the property, have even, any sense of like how big this would become? I mean, even that first season, did Did it feel like, oh, maybe we're gonna make it, or did you feel like, wow, this is really something special?
Yeah, Jillian did. She took me out to dinner and she said, this is going to be huge.
Jillian's
Talking
there?
about you.
No, I don't think, moving on.
And it started.
No, none of us did. None of us did. Right? Would you agree? Use it for the force of good. Go on, let's have my...
Mitch, how did you get anyway, Mitch, how did you get involved with X-Files?
I had auditioned for the show a couple times prior to auditioning for Skinner, and it didn't happen.
What roles did you audition for?
A couple of it.
Mulder.
Yeah, Mulder actually.
Oh, Mulder?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was actually really good. I was actually really good. No, the reason the show is so good is because of these two here and the storytelling. I'll answer the question.
Pizza?
Pizza. Yeah, I don't like pizza. Psilocybin mushroom pizza. I went back in and auditioned for the third time, and having not gotten it the first two times, I went into the room with a kind of a shitty attitude, and that's what Chris wanted for the character, so hired me.
And then William, how about yourself? You have such a long history of theater, and you've done so much in your lifetime. How did you get involved with X-Files?
Is this working? Yeah. Well, I auditioned for the pilot of some obscure show about alien abduction that I was sure wasn't going to go anywhere, speaking of that question you asked before. But I actually auditioned for the senior FBI agent who had 3 lines. I didn't get it. I got this other character that had no lines. My friend Ken Cameron got the part with the lines. But we've laughed about it for many years. I've laughed a lot harder than Ken.
And how about first impressions when you first met each other?
That was a long fucking time ago.
I can remember the first scene that I had was with Jillian, and she came into my office where I did. As a matter of fact, David at one point asked me if I really had legs. But my first scene was with Jillian, and I remember this little bit came into the office, and thought, bitch. No, I said little bit. I did not say little bitch.
Just want to clear it up.
So it hadn't gotten to that point yet, which is amazing. And we started doing the scene, and I thought, wow, that's a lot coming out of this little girl, and she was awesome, and it was inspiring for me. So I was just sucking up to her.
Well, let's get this question out of the way because it always pops up on these panels. Is your favorite memory or moment from the series?
My favorite moment was when we were out at what was it?
Britannia?
Britannia, thank you. Brittany, that was another time.
Somebody else?
That was somebody else.
That was another little bit.
And we were doing a scene, David and Jillian and myself were doing a scene, and it was in a restaurant, and I saw this cute little redhead in a waitress outfit, and I said to David, who's that? And he said, that's Arlene. And I said,
How did he know her name?
Because she was your body double.
and I said to David, who's that? He goes, that's Arlene. And I said, I'm going to marry her. So I did. But, and we're still married. We are still married. 20 years.
sweet. Jillian?
Favorite memory, moment, experience that you
There were a couple scenes where you turned to me and you said, I'm gonna marry that dude. They were always telling me who they were gonna marry. What's your favorite memory? Or any memory at all? A word. Household phrase.
I don't know. That time when I cried, that was good.
You really should prepare for these things.
I don't know. What about you?
William, can you help them out a little bit? Or?
You know, it was, just many memories, right? I don't know about favorite, but just what I flashed on was doing that stuff during the pilot when we were out in the rain trying to get all those. And we were.
That was the last time we laughed.
Did we laugh?
Yeah, we laughed.
So we're doing that scene, and the guy who's making it rain, you pointed out.
God? That guy?
No, it was special effects rain. And you pointed up and you said, I'm gonna marry that guy.
And his name was Arlene. Yeah.
Bill?
God, you're brown, Bill. Look at how brown your hands are. Have you been on holiday?
Well, we've been doing a little water skiing, you know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, you been water skating again?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You know, this is true that Bill is an expert water skier, which you guys don't know. Do any of you know that Bill is an expert water skier? You know that?
One of my favorite moments, now that you mentioned it, I had a scene with your mother, Mrs. Mulder.
Oh, not Mrs. Duchovny.
No.
It's gonna get real there for a second.
And we're talking about Mr. Mulder, how we're down by the lake, and I'm saying, you know, Mr. Mulder was a pretty good water skier. Not as good as I was, of course. And then I added, which could be said about many other things. And that's how we know I'm his father. Maybe.
He is?
Well, what I was... What? Is he my father? I don't know.
You didn't know that?
Well, yeah.
Have you met?
When did that happen?
When did that happen? Well, how old is Mulder?
9 months ago. But actually, Chris had envisioned this scene where Cigarette Smoking Man was going to be... we never shot it, or he never wrote it, or both. And you had a cigarette in your mouth, and you were going to do one of those moves where you're water skiing and you kind of just come up on land on the skis. Step out of the skis and exhale.
No, seriously.
This was going to be... And I was like, that was the fucking best scene. Can you imagine that?
Chris was going to write it. Chris said he was going to do something with the water ski.
You never did, though.
The other writers, he said, talked him out of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's always season 11.
You'll have to ski up and do one of these.
Hey, Hey, we have some awesome fans here that have been waiting a long time for questions. So let's go over here. Yes, so please start.
Hi, I'm a classical musician, and I guess something that makes the X-Files so powerful for me is it's kind of a metaphor of my journey and my struggle to believe in myself as an artist. And I guess my question for you guys is, do you have any advice for somebody who's struggling in the arts career field, or like more general question, I guess, is like, what advice could you give somebody who's struggling to be who they want to be in life?
Stick with it. Don't give up.
Well, Bill is an acting teacher. He might have something to say there.
I think I would say to any hopeful artist is do what you want to do and do it because you love to do it. Who knows how that will work out? You know, as a classical musician, I've read about how you have to audition for chairs in symphonies and you have to hide behind a screen, and so your skill will out, I guess. But there's an awful lot of chance in the artistic field. Certainly, I never expected, at my age, to be sitting here, even as an actor, never mind an actor in a successful series. So who knows where things will take you, but do what you want to do and get good training.
I would just add that, and you may or may not agree, but I think one always feels the way you feel no matter what stage you're at in your training, life, success, career, whatever. It always feels transitional. So I would just say to try to become comfortable in that fucking anxiety of that feeling.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'm always afraid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you do it anyway. You just do.
Yes, please.
Hi there, my name is Tita, and I have a question for everyone. My question is, what's your go-to karaoke song, and can you sing us a sample?
We may have to let Mitch represent.
Mitch is going to sing for all of us.
Mitch?
He's from Fiddler on the Roof.
No, I'm not going to sing for all of you.
No?
At all, no.
Come on, Mitch.
This is the man. This is
No,
the singer. This is the performer.
I'll tell you the truth. Shut up, Walt. I'll tell you the truth. It's, I've never done karaoke. I don't have a karaoke song. I would be terrified of doing karaoke. Have you ever done karaoke?
No.
Bill?
I have to admit, I have.
What's your go-to karaoke song, Bill?
But I can't sing.
Well, that's the point.
I don't know what song. Oh, I think we sang On Top of Old Smoky.
It sounds like a rockin' karaoke bar.
This is where we turn on you. Do you want to sing your favorite song?
It's gonna be the X-Files theme.
Do it, all right, quick.
Now it's your turn.
Thank you very much.
Gotta learn the lyrics to that.
Thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
Will Mulder and Scully ever get married?
Sure, you never get asked that question.
A did or will?
Will.
Oh. I don't think you want them to. I don't think you really want them to. Not married. There are other things they can do, but they don't have to get married. Right?
There you go. All right. Go ahead.
I thought they were.
All right, you're in a room full of geeks, and what I want to know is, what do you guys geek out about?
There's being a lot of judgment here, so prepare yourself.
No judgment.
Remember in Toy Story all those little green aliens and they all went, ooh, at the same time?
What do you geek out about, Mitch?
Oh,
Come back to us. Come back.
Yes, action. I don't know. I geek out. I fanboy. You know, it's like I do. I absolutely. It's like I've been at these things, and I was sitting at a table next to Patrick Stewart in Australia for a couple weekends, and we didn't speak to each other the whole time. I was intimidated and shy, and I was waiting for somebody to introduce us, and nobody did. So the last day, as we were leaving, we kind of just like ran into each other face to face, and we kind of just looked at each other. He looks at me and he goes, "Yes, well," and he just. Because I was kind of like starstruck, and I was like, you know, I didn't know what I was geeking out, you know. I was doing what you guys do, and I felt like an idiot that I didn't, you know, just say, "Sir Patrick Stewart." I didn't do it, and he was waiting, I think, and he just decided, well, this idiot's not going to speak, so I'm leaving. That's my answer.
I'd geek out if I met Obama.
Well,
I would if I was standing in front of him. I think, you know, I think I would.
my daughter too. She's like, Obama's my bae.
You should meet Justin Trudeau.
Trudeau, yeah, Trudeau. We love Trudeau. Canadian.
Who's that?
I probably, I was actually out to dinner with my daughter a couple weeks ago, and we ran into John McEnroe, who I know a little bit, and I said to my daughter, "You have no idea who this is, but I'm going to fangirl all over you." So excuse me. And then I was just like, "Hi, John."
Awesome, thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Overall, I love everyone, like supernatural and animal and stuff like that. But for me, I'm a big fan also. I love the X-Files, but I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks. Any idea? Now, I think it's done already, but they're doing the TV show. Any idea at all for you to their little cameo role or not? For you. The thing is because you're in it. You're in it and they're still there. So overall, any idea or not? Or you just don't know yet?
I feel like I should have my lawyer with me. Actually, it's all very hush-hush. I don't know what I can say, but yeah. Those guys are serious about their confidentiality.
Okay,
I'll say
no
that.
problem.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with them. You don't know what you're treading on. So.
No problem. That's it.
We'll have you sign an NDA and then we'll talk about it. Yes, go ahead.
David, hi. I'm sure you get asked about the red Speedo bathing suit all the time. Did you ever imagine that scene would become so iconic? And
Oh, I hoped.
how do you feel about that now?
What happens in the scene other than you walking in a red Speedo?
That's it. Nothing else matters.
Nick Lee comes to see me at the pool. I jump out of the pool, we walk and talk.
In the red Speedo?
I'm in the Speedo, he's in a suit.
Oh.
Honestly, I will tell you that the only consideration I ever gave that when I talked to Chris about it, he said, you know, he knew I was a swimmer, and he said, I'm going to have the scene where Mulder is swimming, and I said, oh, cool, so we'll do that. And Chris is from California, he's a surfer, so he thought, you'll be in board shorts, like shorts, which is what they wear. And I said, no, but I've never seen anybody in my life swim laps unless they had a Speedo on. So I guess it was my idea to put the Speedo on. I wasn't trying to pull a fast one, but I was like, no board shorts to swim laps in. So, it's boring answer.
What was set like having two new guys on set?
Good question. Yeah, it was strange. It was strange because they looked like mini versions of us, and I think, but it was, and they were a lot more enthusiastic than we ever were. You know, in their desire to do it, and also in their acting style. So it was very interesting. I remember thinking at one point during a scene with Lauren, the way that she was acting was actually how real people would act in that situation. And the way that I was acting was the way one would act in the XFILES in that situation. Just because I'd done it for so long, and that there was actually a difference between the two. Yeah, it was educational. But great, they're both very, very sweet, very talented young actors.
Yes, please.
Hi. My question is this. Were either any of you believers in the paranormal and supernatural before you started the show? And was there at any point during the show where maybe it changed your mind?
Well, I can speak to that a little bit, I guess, because I never was a believer in the paranormal. And I encountered various situations where people thought, because I was in the show, and not understanding really how our profession works, they assumed I had chosen to be in the show because I believed in all these things. And people would bring me information about Roswell and Area 51. And in Scotland, I was invited to go on a skywalk so I could look at some flying objects. And finally I said, you know, I don't really believe in this stuff. And they said, well, why not? And I said, well, the onus is on you to prove that these things exist. It's not on me. I can't prove a negative. And they said, oh, but we have. And at that point I was stopped, because I didn't know what they were offering as proof. So I endeavored to find out. And that took me into meeting an organization called PSYCOP, Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal. It's now Committee for Scientific Inquiry. And they put these things to scientific tests. And I found out what they thought the proof was, what the real situation was, and I became fairly fluent in discussing those questions, and I actually made some money going around to colleges and talking about it. So that's my story.
Did you end up saying that you believed, or no?
Just that you got paid to pretend like you believed.
I got paid to believe.
I just worked out.
Great, thank you. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. So my question is mainly for David and Jillian, since you guys directed in XFILES. Given that was some of your first experiences, and you've got a wealth of knowledge since then, what are you planning, or hopefully, I'm hoping, are you guys planning on directing in season 11, and hopefully
Season
more?
11?
What have you learned since XFILES to now that you would bring to your direct?
Wait, can I just ask a question? Is there an assumption that we are going to do a season 11? I mean, is that something that you guys think is a given, or is that something that there's a still question? I mean, this is a serious question, or that there's still a question mark?
Okay, Jillian, David and Jillian, seriously, all four of you. 20 million people? 20 million people, really? Like, it's a given.
I thought it was more than 20 million people.
But the first 20 million were the really ones that counted.
What was
If you direct in season 11, hopefully I will.
that if there's a season 11, it will be direct? Is that the question? Yeah.
And what will you?
If if there's a season 11, and if you direct in that hypothetical season 11, will you direct, if you direct, any differently than you directed before when you actually did direct?
If I were to direct again in any time of my life, I would hope to direct better than I directed the first time. Would be my answer. Sorry?
You did so great in all things.
Thank you, that's very sweet of you to say, but I completely forgot about the actors. I remember thinking when I was on set that I had nothing to say to them. That I had not, I spent time, I set up all my shots, I was completely prepared, I felt confident in what I was doing. But I had not for 1 second considered how to communicate with the actors what I needed from them in the scenes, and I think it shows. I mean,
No, it doesn't. I promise.
David? But you directed three or four, right? Yeah, if you were to direct in a hypothetical season 11, would you direct differently, Mr. DeCover?
Yeah, I think, you just, with practice or with experience, you just change unwittingly, really. You don't know how you change, but you do. But I think what Jillian is speaking to is the fact that when you first start, especially on our show, which was technically demanding, and we're not coming from the technical aspect of directing it, so we would have been intimidated by a shot list or where to put the camera and all these things. I think when you first start to do it, that's all you're thinking about. I think that's what Jillian is saying. So I think that's true, so I think once you relax, once you do it once or twice, then you realize that it's going to get done, and you can relax and address other things, like talking to the actors or, but God, who wants to do that, really?
I think most directors forget about the actors anyway, so.
I gotta say, I love what you're doing. You like the grumpy uncle today.
Well, is that, wouldn't that be,
yes,
well, my experience, most directors, most television directors don't, it's about the shot. They don't really, I think they really know how to deal with actors, so that's.
Well, in fairness, Kim Manners, I think, was an exception.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not talking about Kim. I'm not talking about, Rob. I'm talking about, because those are people that we worked with a lot. But my experience.
And Kim was an actor, too.
What's that?
Kim was an actor to start.
Yeah, and I think that lends itself a lot to, what a director does with actors. I think if they have some experience acting, it definitely translates. But that's my experiences. I don't get a whole lot from directors as far as performance.
That's probably because you're so good.
Probably because they're scared shitless of you.
That may be part of it too.
Well, the truth is that when you get a director on a TV show, they're coming in, where the people have been doing it for a long time, and they kind of they own their characters. But you mentioned Kim, and one of the things that Kim would always do is. He'd say to me every week or whenever he was directing, he'd say, we've never seen Mulder like this. We've never seen Mulder like this. And I was like, Kim, you said that last week. You said, just leave me alone. No, we've never seen him like this. This is we've never seen him. I kick it in the ass.
Well, for X-Files fans, there's a iconic picture, one of the most famous ones from X-Files, of Jillian, you're licking Duchovny's face. Everyone, know that picture? And so we went to Twitter, we just asked, hey, what's your questions for the cast of X-Files? And I kid you not, the overwhelming question, Jillian, is, what does David taste like? They wanted to know from that picture. How would you describe?
Avocado. It would taste like chicken, but he's vegetarian.
Hard to describe, really.
Okay. Yes, please.
I forgot my question.
He's pondering what the taste is as well. So.
Question for Jillian. You've worked a lot on TV sets for Fox and other networks, and now you're doing a lot of streaming stuff with Netflix. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen from working for big TV studios and working for online streaming stuff? And also, David, I just finished Californication. That was a good show.
Motherfucker.
Thank you.
The one thing that I have done that had anything to do with Netflix was actually a BBC Two show that was filmed and not initially produced by Netflix. So it wasn't an in-house production. It was made for BBC Two, and then Netflix came on board and produced it, so to speak, to air it in the States and other regions. And then in the second and third seasons, they ended up putting a little bit of money into it so that they could have a piece of it. So I haven't actually really had a proper experience working directly with a streaming network, although I will say that probably Netflix was the best and only place for that particular series to live and survive. And so, I mean, the other options I think at the time were either PBS, which it was not going to work on. I'm talking about a series called The Fall, which is, it's very dark serial killer series, or also BBC America wasn't really right for it. So the fact that Netflix stepped in kind of saved the day and was the perfect venue for us.
American Gods is coming up too. Are you going to be in that?
I am in a few episodes of American Gods, which is, But I mean, my understanding from what's happening in the world today and what will continue to happen with streaming is that eventually that's all it will be, And there, I'll leave it at that.
Thank you.
And David, I don't want the time to pass without talking a little bit about, you have a new novel that came out, Bucky effing Dent. Can you tease us a little bit about what that book's about and maybe the source of the title?
The title comes from, Bucky Dent was a baseball player in the 70s. And she got the copy, yeah. And he hit a home run against the Red Sox, which broke their hearts because they hadn't won a championship in I don't know how many years, 68 years or something like that. Anyway, I was up around my in-laws' house in Massachusetts, and these guys were working on the roof while I was in the house, and I heard one of them just said Bucky fucking Dent, blah, 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 Bucky fucking Dent, and just made me laugh, and I called up and I said, what did you just say, Bucky fucking Dent? Because he was a hero in New York. I just knew him as Bucky Dent, But in Boston, he's a villain. He's Bucky fucking Dent. So it always made me laugh, and it made sense for the book, and you'll have to read it to figure out exactly why.
Right. Can they get copies of this here at the show?
Yeah.
I'm
going to do a little reading, I think, tomorrow here.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Check it out. And then Jillian, you're also a spokesperson for neurofibromatosis. Can you tell us why that's so important to you and what you're trying to accomplish with that cause?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. When my brother was 3 years old, he was diagnosed with a disease called neurofibromatosis, and so our family, specifically my mom, educated herself about the disease. And when I started working on the X-FILES, I was asked if I would become an ambassador, a patron of one of the organizations, Neurofibromatosis Inc., to help raise awareness and raise funds, etc. My brother passed away, age 30, 4 years ago, from a brain tumor that was, they believe, was connected to the disease. And I continue to do work in support of the charity and raise money for it. It's a neurological disease that affects the nerves in the body and manifests in Café spots and tumors and learning disabilities and sometimes blindness and various other forms can manifest. Anyway, he had a very, very mild form of it, and there were no real signs of it beyond the Café spots until the brain tumor was discovered. So yeah, that's why.
Thank you so much for raising awareness for that. So unfortunately, we only have time for one last question, so we're going to go over here, so make it a good one.
It's not that good, but my question
Okay, we're going to go over here.
Wait.
Oh, okay, go.
My question's for Jillian, I guess. I've had the privilege to be able to interact with all you guys at different conventions, but I was just wondering if Hannibal reconvenes, will you be a part of it? And I wanted to show you my tattoo. I got a badass tattoo of Mulder. I'm going to put all of you on my arm, but either way, my question is...
Don't.
I'm gonna do it.
Just stop.
I'm a sufferer of my generation. But anyway, that's my question. About Hannibal.
What was the first question? Oh, Hannibal.
Will you be a part
I
of
don't
it?
think, Brian's a busy guy.
I know, that's what
He's a really busy guy. I mean, but I don't know. There could be things percolating that I have no idea about. I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. And in a minute, I'm gonna auction off this T-shirt.
Yeah.
For Child Reach International. So if we have a minute, I'll do that. But you guys don't have to stick around for it because it's really boring. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, hey, if you are excited and hopeful for season 11, let's thank our cast of the X-Files. Thank you, William, David, Jillian, and Mitch. Can y'all come forward right there?
Look where we're at.
Yes! Yes!
This is Stan Lee.
I'm Michael Rooker. I'm Norman Reedus.
Hi, folks. I'm Bruce Campbell.
Hey, guys, this is Brett Dalton.
We're all here to see me, of course.